Burnout, burnout.
Nugent. Burnout. Burnout. Nugent. Woo! All right, we're here. It is July 28th. We are excited to talk to everyone in general admission and in the seats and in the stands, unless you had to buy tickets to this on Ticketmaster, in which case no one would be excited. Isn't that right, Brett?
Only the wealthiest of the wealthy.
You don't get to go to concerts unless you're a thousandaire.
Unless you work on Wall Street.
Basically. Bruce is in some hot water right now. It's been coming up. My dad's brought it up to me. My friends, like it's all over the place.
So it wasn't just me that brought it up today.
No, it's been a lot of, have you heard about what's going on with Bruce? And then people tend to follow it up with, he's not happy about it either. But I don't know if he's said anything.
Can he change it though?
All right, so wait, let's paint the picture first. So basically, Bruce announced the tour, tickets went on sale, and Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing took effect and jacked up some of these prices to, like, what was it, 700 plus for like
minimum
seats?
Right?
Yeah. So now that it's hit a huge artist like Bruce and a whole new, I want to say a whole new generation is experiencing this for the first time, but I bet there might be a decent amount of older music folks who are like, what the hell's going on here? Why is a concert $1,000? And it's making headlines.
And I feel like we've been talking about this for like months now. Like ever since we started the show, I feel like we've had a gripe with Ticketmaster. And many people have had a gripe with Ticketmaster because it's just absurd right now.
It's out of control. So it Ticketmaster and Live Nation own these venues or have like deals with them. I don't know exactly if it's they own them or have deals with them, but the point is they're one and the same essentially. So if a big artist wants to play a big venue like this, they have to go through Ticketmaster or they have to pick a different venue. And Bruce Springsteen isn't about to start playing small clubs in order to stick it to Ticketmaster, because he'd have to play what, 30 of those shows to even get half of those people. And then they don't have the stamina at that age to do that. And it's not realistic.
And he's in such high demand right now. Like he hasn't toured, I think, in like 4 or 5 years with the E Street Band, something like that. It might be even longer. So like obviously everyone wants to go see him because I haven't been able to see him in years, and you had COVID. And now it's just like, I don't know anyone going to this tour because no one could afford it. But you're right. It's like another generation is finally getting to see this. I'm hoping maybe this could spark some sort of change, but I don't think it will. I kind of said this to you before, but I feel like we're kind of heading towards a little bit of the dark ages of going to see live shows, which are just flat out sucks.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous with these big bands. And I read that these artists have to opt in to dynamic ticket pricing, which if that's the case, then like that sucks pretty bad. Because the way I understood it was there's a minimum price for tickets, and then there's X amount of tickets available. And the Live Nation Ticketmaster makes a deal with the artist and their squad. And there's a certain number that then when that number gets reached, the profits then go to, I would think, the artist and everyone. But Ticketmaster, Live Nation makes money up until a certain amount. So with this dynamic pricing, that price point can get hit wildly earlier than it normally would. And then the artist is going to see a ton more money, which is cool if it wasn't at the cost of isolating your fans from coming to your shows, especially when you're already worth like $650 million or whatever Bruce is worth.
Yeah, I don't think he's struggling. Like, I mean, I know he did sell his catalog recently, I'm pretty sure. Like that happened during COVID, but still, I'm assuming by doing that, he just like reeled in a ton of money. So like you really don't have to do this to your fans. Although I'm kind of curious. Like, do you think he understood how dynamic ticketing worked, or was it just like, oh yeah, let's just do this, and then it wound up being like a billion times worse than he could have ever imagined?
Yeah, I would like to believe that's true because I don't. There's a chance he never even made the decision. Like, there's so many people probably on his team that he's just like, I'm doing a tour. Tell me where and when. But I don't think he, as much as I'd like to believe it, I don't think he's in control of what's going on here. Like, I think it's bigger than Bruce Springsteen. Like, there's a huge monopoly happening on concert tickets, especially with their control over the venues. It's it's out of control. Like, all these artists would have to come together and say we're not going to play Live Nation, Ticketmaster venues, and I don't think
Good
that's
luck with
happening.
that
And then
then.
even
Yeah.
if they did that, like, now the fans don't get to see him at all. Like, it's a lose-lose for the fans. So I don't really know what the answer is. If, like, is this just another like bigger issue of just like capitalism in this country? Like, I don't, like, does someone have to step in and be like, you can't do this? But at the same time, if Ticketmaster wants to list tickets for $2,000
It
and people
can.
out there buy them, like, I don't know. I don't know.
The answer would be to not buy tickets, but no one's going to not buy tickets, which
No,
doesn't
because
make sense. But like, I put my foot down at a certain number, but I guess some people have just like a blank check. Which, I mean,
yeah,
some shows I would have a blank check. Like right now, Phish in December, blank check. But
yes.
that's besides the point. They shouldn't be doing this to begin with, though.
No. And Ticketmaster was trying to downplay like the number of platinum tickets available because with the variable pricing, like tickets were reaching like 5,000 a piece on the first day of sales. And Ticketmaster, hold on, I wrote this number down so I get it right. They said that only represents 11.2% of the overall tickets sold, which seems high to me. Like,
Yeah.
is that
Wasn't
supposed
it
to
in the
get you out
pre-sale
of hot
too?
water? Yeah, it was. It's like you get a pre-sale code, you wait on their little virtual line, and then Ticketmaster scalps their own tickets before you even get a shot at them. Of course, people are mad.
Yeah, like,
And
that makes no sense.
11% is like,
Of pre-sale before it's on sale to the public. You can't be like, oh, we have like 25% of tickets available and 11% of those sold for this absurd price. It's like,
yeah,
okay, but 75% of your tickets you haven't sold yet and you're marking it up that high already.
yeah,
Although I think that's
it's
how pre-sale tickets work. I don't know if everything is on limits at that point or if they still do like a chunk up front.
yeah. I I guess they have a certain amount they can like allocate, but it's just the fact that they could jack up their own prices just seems wrong. And like me and Mike, my buddy Mike D, we're trying to see Rage Against the Machine in like 2 weeks. And unless I want to sit nosebleeds at the Garden for 125, which is what I'd be willing to pay for like all right seats at Rage, but I've sat in the nosebleeds at Madison Square Garden. Like, it's not fun.
Like on the roof, pretty much.
Yeah, I gotta look at where these seats are before we do anything, but floor seats are 700 a pop. The 100s are 500, which almost seems good, like in the grand scheme of how
That's
everything's
still
going.
really high though.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's crazy, especially when you think about all the people that used to see these bands for like $10, like
In like a
30
club.
years ago. Like,
But
I
we
don't
kind of
know.
saw this a couple months ago when like pony shows were going for like 120, 130. Like a day to remember the pony should not be 130 when the public sale happens.
Was
That
that
just
what
should
the
not be.
was that the price? I thought I paid like 60 for that.
For us, we did because you got them in the pre-sale. But if you waited
Oh,
for the public sale, it like doubled the price. Like I had people flat out say no to going to the show because they're like, I'm not gonna pay 130 for a
no.
summer stage show. I can go like hang out in the watermark for free and
Yeah.
still hear the same thing you're hearing, even though you're inside the gates.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't argue with you there, but I got mine for like 65. So
Yeah. That's for like a show like that exactly where I'd like to see tickets. I mean, I'd like to see them at $30, but like
yeah,
that's like totally okay with me for what you're getting. But these big artists, like we just saw Elton John this past weekend, and we got tickets in the on the second level, um kind of side stage, but out enough that it was more like diagonal looking down.
that was
No,
MetLife, right?
Yeah, and those are like 160 a pop because my cousin knew someone who like worked at MetLife, was able to like hook it up. We were able to spend almost $200 for like second level seats and be psyched about it.
I mean, I get it's his farewell tour, but still.
It's like his 7th farewell tour.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
saw his farewell tour at, I think it was at Monmouth in like 2013. Like,
that's right. I forgot about that.
yeah, I still have the t-shirt.
It's like for real this time, farewell.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he ended the show saying like, I'm going to keep doing this. So I don't know. Maybe he's just, 1 year is not enough for Elton John to say farewell. So it's the farewell tours.
Plural
I don't
tours.
know. I saw Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. So that was just saying farewell and goodbye to Yellow Brick Road, not his whole career. I don't know.
Did you go the 23rd or the 24th?
The 23rd. You pulling up the set list?
I'm looking at the set list right now. Yeah.
Yo, it was so good. I like totally not underestimate him, but my estimations were off. Like he's way more like psychedelic and trippy than like I give him credit for. And then when you see him live, like they're doing some wild shit on stage. It's
and he
like,
still sounds good too, right?
He sounded great. The whole band sounded great. Like apparently it's pretty much like the whole same band he's been touring with since like the beginning.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you had I wrote it all down because he took a few minutes to like introduce everyone and shout them out, which I love. That's just like great because you're seeing Elton John, but like when it's been the same band for 40 years, it's everyone deserves credit. And so they had a drummer and then they had 2 percussion guys. So one guy had like bongos and like tambourines and shit, and then this
So
other
Slipknot
guy
was there.
yeah, Corey Taylor had his mask on.
And it's 3 drummers.
And there was another guy with like a xylophone. So xylophone guy was named John Mayhov, and then there's another dude who plays the keyboard, Kim Balarm, and then Kim. That doesn't seem right. It was a dude. Whatever.
There's guys named Kim.
All right. Matt Bissonette on bass. He's and then this dude Ray Cooper was the other percussion guy, and then Nigel Olson's his drummer. So just shout out to the band, get their names out
They've
there
all been
if I
there
even got
since
them right.
the 70s.
Yeah. He said about Nigel Olson, he's like 1969 and 53 years later, he's still on drums. Nigel Olson, like everyone like cheered and stuff. It was great. They had like the screens on the sides where you could see everyone playing, but they did these overlays on those screens, so there was like kind of cool stuff happening over their faces. And then there was a big screen in the middle, and that just had like different animations or videos happening. And then the stage itself, it kind of sloped down and came out. It looked like a big tongue, like to me anyway. And they had everyone on there, and the whole perimeter of the stage lit up. It was really cool. They were super tight. Like they had a little jams going at some points.
That's awesome. You got
Yeah.
Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding. Probably like one of my favorite songs by him.
Yeah. The set list was awesome. They played a song Have Mercy something something, and it was like the highlight for me, and I didn't even know that song, but it was just like
Have Mercy on the Criminal.
Yeah. Like there was this build up in the chorus where they would all just go like do no 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 and then stop, and then like they just like would keep going onto that riff, and like with the xylophone doing it too. It was super cool. And when he played I'm Still Standing, they showed all old clips of like his whole career. So you had like the pic with the video of him and Eminem at the Grammys, like giving the crowd the middle finger when they played Stand together.
That was great.
They showed clips from The Simpsons when he was animated, South Park clips. What else? Oh, those are the big ones that stood out to me. But yeah, Eminem, Simpsons, and South Park. That's what you think of when you think of Elton John. But yeah, it was just like him young playing these festivals and like just his whole career. And then while he's singing "I'm Still Standing," like it was pretty cool. And then there's a song "Someone Saved My Life," and it had
The
this
classic.
crazy animation going on, um, where like it's a cartoon Elton John like walking down the street, and he's walking past all these houses. Then the houses grow legs and stand up, and it eats him. And then he goes onto this giant looking like pinball machine thing, and he gets in a ball and puts the lid on, and then he starts bouncing around. He goes down this tunnel, and it's like he's spiraling to hell. There's all these monsters and stuff, dude. It was crazy.
Kind of want to find that somewhere now.
Yeah, I found a link. I'll send it to you. It was super cool though, and I may have had some pizza toppings before the show,
I
so
was
it
going to
was
say that
really
probably helped that.
it's really kicking in nicely for that part of the video. Yeah, Saturday Night, Tiny Dancer, Crocodile Rock, like
The great
man,
Zealous.
yeah, yeah, it was so cool, and the whole crowd was awesome, loud, into it. I didn't see anyone like being a jerk. Like everyone had on like cool glasses and different outfits and stuff. My cousin bought this one piece sparkly Dodgers outfit that says Elton on the back. I guess he wore it at like a show at some point in his career.
I think that was in the
Oh.
movie too that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was, people kept stopping my cousin to take pictures. It was ridiculous. He was eating it up. There's the most ridiculous pictures of him posing in this thing in front of the stadium.
And he's like a big Elton fan.
No.
He just bought it to buy it.
Just a goofball. Yeah, it was my aunt's 60th birthday, so like we got the whole family together. So there was like 13 of us, like my mom, her sisters, cousins, and stuff. So
Oh, good. You did
yeah,
get Rocket Man too.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I would think he would play that both nights. He didn't play "Can You Feel the Love Tonight." I wasn't sure if that would have been a shoe in or not. I guess not.
Were there any
But
Lion King songs? I
uh,
don't think so.
what's the other one? Did he do like a bunch of the Lion King? It's been so long, I
Circle
don't
of
even
Life.
remember. Oh shit. I never even thought of that. I was just thinking of "Can You Feel the Love Tonight."
He did the studio version
Wow.
of not that there was I don't think they sang that song actually. So I think I could just say he did the main song in the beginning.
Got it. Yeah, it was a great time. It
That's a
was fun.
discography I've got to go back down that yellow brick road.
Yeah. He closed with "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road." And it's another great one. Like, yeah, just forget like they started in the 70s, so like they have a lot of that like psychedelic like groove to their music.
They're just fun songs too.
Yeah. It was weird. The spot we are in, like, I mean, it was also like 100 degrees, but most people were kind of just sitting, like enjoying the show. I I didn't mind. Like I sat, but then like my mom and like her sisters were standing up dancing. Like I get so in my head, probably because like I'm smoking at these shows, but then I start thinking like I don't want to stand up and then the person behind me can't see. Like then I feel like a jerk. But then at the same time, it's like I paid for my seat if I want to
We're at
stand
a
at a
concert.
concert. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I had my beers and like was air drumming in my seat. Like it was fine. But
That sounds like an
yeah,
awesome show though.
yeah, yeah, it was an adventure. And then wrangling my whole family, like 13 of us leaving MetLife. We had to cross the tunnel and get picked up over by American Dream. Well, Nicole too, but we were the ones who kept everyone together from wandering, who's disappearing, what, like, I should not have been the most responsible person in this group. And I was the one who got us home. This is absurd.
That
Uh,
has to be a first for you, right?
it might have been. I left so many Giants games that I could do that shit blacked out by now. But like my I I won't get too far into it. We left and we had, like, maybe 10 of the 13 of us. So we're like, all right, we're gonna walk out. and then just wait here till everyone gathers. And my dad's just like looking down. He's on his phone, like whatever. He walked like 5 sections too far alone before he realized no one was with him. Like how?
Did he
How?
have pizza toppings?
No, he had nothing. I guess he had beers. He was drinking, but like, how do you wander that far and not realize no one else is with you?
He wandered a long time.
Saturday night was not all right for him. Oh my god. Yeah, it was such a shit show getting out of there, but we pulled it off. It was fun, but yeah, going to concerts with that many people
I was
is
gonna say, like, I don't know if I've ever been with a group like more than 10,
it.
maybe even like more than like 7.
Yeah, it's a lot because then you're wondering like even like pre-gaming the lot, like who wanted to see, because we got dropped off, so like we didn't really have a spot. So like my sister wanted to meet up with some of her friends who wanted to see their friends, and then everyone wanted to stick together. Like, I don't know, it's just too many people to figure all that out.
To wrangle.
Yeah, we're trying to get inside, and I'm like, all right, if we can't find 3 of us, like we're all adults, they'll get in and get to their seats. Like, we don't have to stand here waiting when they're out there like having a good time.
Yeah, they have
They
their
made their
tickets,
choice.
so.
Yeah. Actually, they didn't
Or
have their
did,
ticket,
oh, okay.
so that
Well,
actually
that
kind
explains
of
it then.
negates my whole. I don't care. Stand by it. They made their decision to wander off. I don't want to wait. uh, yeah, it was a good time though. What else has been going on? I saw another concert this week. Actually,
Was it General AdPhishion?
it was. I rented the live stream on Friday night. We had friends over. So I'm like, if we're chilling in the house, I'm renting the stream. So I paid $20. You get the whole thing, and I like hooked my HDMI cable up to my TV. Just watch the whole show. So fun.
I should do that. I haven't done that yet for this tour.
It's such a good, like, if you know you're gonna be in one night, just you go to livefish.com. It's $20 for the show, and you just watch it. And like, I'm dancing in my house. I got pretty hammered. Just like I got filled up the growler.
Like you were at a show.
Yeah, I went to the bar with my neighbor for a couple, filled up the growler, came back, had some nice fresh beers, some nice heady IPAs, and yeah, I got down.
I've been doing the Saturday night Sirius show. It was the second
Nice.
week in a row we did one, coming home from one of our friends' house on Saturday, and it was like July 1998.
Oh,
So I think that's why they were playing a lot off Ghost. I
yeah.
was like, I've never heard half these songs before, but I'm like loving all of them,
They play Ghost.
like birds of a feather.
Yeah.
They did play Ghost.
Such
They
a
had like
good
some
one.
like country songs too, like it was
Yeah,
like
they got
Poor
these.
Heart.
Yeah, these bluegrass songs. They just sneak them in there.
I was like, where did this come from? I haven't heard this side of
Right?
Phish yet.
They played Bethel Woods, New York this weekend, and that's where Woodstock happened. Like that's the exact place, which I always just thought it was in Woodstock, but I guess it was. I don't know. I recently learned this, but this Bethel Woods Arena is like where Woodstock took place. So night 2, they did a 6-song encore, and they closed with Fire by Jimi Hendrix, and then Trey played the Star Spangled Banner.
That's awesome. I'm looking at it
So
right
good.
now.
It was so cool. You looking at the set list or the venue?
Yep. The set list right now. Is that what you sent me? Fuck your face, because they played it the other night.
Yeah. It's such
they played Carini too.
Yeah. They're finally starting to play duplicates again. Yeah, they had some deep ones on that set list. But
This might be a dumb question, but do they have openers, or is it just them?
no, it's just them.
It's just them, right?
Yeah.
To say these sets are pretty hefty.
Yeah, they'll do like it's like an hour to an hour 20. Then there's like a 20 to 30-minute break. Then they do it again, and then they come back and do usually 1 or 2 songs, but they did way more the other night. Then they played Hartford yesterday. Damn. I can't wait. I can't wait to see them.
I'm glad I have till December because I feel like there's still so much I haven't unearthed from them yet. Like you sent me like all these new ones too. And like, but I'm still on like Picture of Nectar.
That's you're taking a totally different approach than what I did, which is so cool because like you could just do anything and it works. But I just went to a ton of shows and then I would just listen to the hell out of the show I went to because I don't know if we talked about this, but with Phish, you have a barcode on your ticket or your mobile ticket now, and you go to their website and you put that code in and you can download your whole show.
That's a great deal.
Yeah. So I have like 30 of my shows. Like it just comes with the ticket, and there's just a spot on their website called My Stash, and it's just all your shows.
That's one of the coolest things I've ever heard. No band does that.
Yeah, I think all bands should do that. I wish all bands did a live stream. If like a band I like was playing in like California or something, pay $20 to watch, like, I don't know. Like
They should. I mean, they were doing it during COVID.
yeah, like it I guess you have to like have the equipment to do it,
Touring,
but
filming, touring crew, pretty much.
yeah. And then yeah, they do it all on their own website, like in-house, but it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, I've been going the studio album approach, and then whatever I hear on that Saturday night Sirius concert,
Nice.
and I take a bunch of notes down and make sure to go find out search out those songs.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it.
I'm fully hooked though.
I love it. I
Like,
can't wait.
I barely had time to listen to the new albums that came out this week because I can't stop listening to Phish. Like even Sandra, like Sandra's obsessed with Tweezer now.
Yes. Even Nicole, like she used to like she was never like a huge fan, but she never disliked them. And now she just knows like it's Phish season and she's like she's all in.
So to fit that is a thing. Then summer is Phish season. Cassandra's like they're like a perfect summer band. I can't imagine people seeing them in December. I'm like that makes sense, but I feel like it's a tradition in December.
Yeah, they do it all. It's just really New Year's in December, and then they'll might do a fall tour. But for me, it's like, I mean, football is really the only sport I follow like religiously. So in the summer, like Phish is just my sports team. I follow them, see what they're doing, and it's like a
You get
musical
something new every night.
sports team. Boys from Vermont, the Phish. So did you listen to any new albums this week?
I did listen to 2, but there were a lot more came out this week that I wasn't aware of. So I am behind on 2. I didn't listen to Mac Miller, which I know you'll talk about shortly. And supposedly Dawes put out a good album. I haven't checked out yet either.
Dawes, DAWS.
DAWES. Yep.
I've heard of them. Them.
Yep, it's them.
Huh.
So
I don't know if I've
is
ever
really good.
If I've ever actually listened to them. We can listen for next week.
I'm pretty sure it's a quiet week this week, so I have time to catch up.
Did you get to listen to Jack White?
I did. I was excited to talk about that one.
I was listening. I put that on like, I guess I gotta listen to this Jack White album. Like I wasn't really like excited about it because like I felt like he just put one out and like he's a shredder and I get it. And I just like wasn't really in the mood for it. And it was anything but that. And I listened to it like 4 times today. Yeah, it was so good. Like so folky. Like I felt like I want to like put this on in a tavern and like drink some mead. Entering Heaven
you nailed
Alive.
it though. You said it sounded like the Beatles. It really did.
Dude, so Beatlesy, from like the use of like piano and like the parlor piano, and then like just like some of like his vocal inflections. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think it was Help Me Along had like this piano solo that kind of reminded me of like In My Life by the Beatles. It wasn't like as wacky as the piano solo on that one, but just like a parlor piano just like kicks in the middle for a little solo. Queen of the Bees had like that waltzy kind of like Benefit of Mr. Kite kind of feel. Yeah, big Beatles vibes from this. I really liked it. And did you see that he did Taking Me Back Gently as the last
I was gonna say I'm a sucker for when albums end on the note where it began, and this
Yeah.
one goes back to the April album. So this is like a companion piece where like this one ends and like you're okay to start over on the next one, and it just is like an endless circle. And
Yep.
I just hit my microphone, but it's an endless circle going back and forth, which I'm always a sucker for when bands pull that off. I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love the last one. So like this is like a nice little come down, but then like it ends where it's gonna throw you back into the chaos of the first half.
Yeah. It is like they complement each other nicely because when it ended, the other one autoplayed. I was like, this kind of works really nice because like just listen to chill music. So let's pick it up with like kind of the same song that the album just ended on, which is heavier. I want to shout out A Madman from Manhattan on this
That's
album.
that I couldn't when you sent me that, I couldn't stop listening to
Dude.
it. I listened to that one before I listened to the rest of the album for like an hour.
The bass in that was so good. And then when the tempo picks up in like 2 minutes, the piano comes in and the drums are doing like this crazy thing on the hi-hat. Like, oh my God, that song was so cool. Just like pure grooving.
It
Jack
was
White.
fitting with the Phish vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, just been grooving all weekend. And then
So
there
you went
was
from Fear of the Dawn to Entering Heaven Alive.
so he
Because
made
those
it.
were the
He
two
made it through.
themes.
Or maybe he didn't make it. Well, Entering Heaven Alive. He's immortal going into heaven. A mortal, not immortal. Because he
Could
probably,
be.
if you're entering heaven, you usually be dead. So what's
Like
what's he getting at here?
Because the cover looks like someone going into the light, but they don't look dead.
All right, we'll have to ask him. He did have that one. I've Got You Surrounded that had like that classic Jack White like fuzz and like wah pedal going on. It's like, all right, he still put one in.
You can't have an album without that.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, I'm all for the acoustic guitars and the fiddles and all that great stuff, but I was happy to just hear him just turn it up just a little bit on one of them.
Overall, though, I think solid. Like this is the one of the rare times where an artist puts out two albums and they're both very good.
Yeah, the first one I didn't go back to a bunch. I didn't dislike it, but it's just not something I really wanted to put on.
You have to be in a mood for it because it's consistently in your face. That one.
Yeah. If anything, it'd be like I feel like it'd be good like if you have friends over, you want to throw something on while hanging out, like just put on like that in the background, you hear some cool guitar.
Good pregame album.
Yeah. Whereas this one, like you want to like listen to
nightcapper.
this one a little more closely. But yeah, I was super surprised with this. He did a really good job. Like just the dichotomy like between this and the other one is just really cool. Which makes
Well
sense.
played,
like,
Jack.
yeah. Don't put out
Considering
the
I
same
didn't-
album twice. And he didn't.
He did not. Props to him. And I think both of these are better than the because I have no memory of 2018's Boarding House Reach.
No.
No memory.
Nah, me either. But we weren't doing this then, so I might
Yeah.
not have even listened.
I might go back and listen now and enjoy it. So maybe
Yeah.
I'll do that this week too. We had the slow music week.
Yeah. And then you mentioned it earlier, but they released another Mac Miller mixtape called I Love Life, Thankyou. And this is a mixtape from 2011 that came out before Blue Slide Park, after the High Life, which was the same year. And you hear him shout out Blue Slide Park in a song. He's like, oh, like, was it like February 8th or something like that? It's cool though. Like, I think they're doing a perfect job with like the posthumous. I don't know how to say this word. I only ever read this word.
I think you said it right.
Posthumous.
Posthumously,
Yeah, sure.
right? I think.
I think so. I don't know what else how else you would say it, but it's not a word I've ever had to say out loud.
Post
But-
mostly.
Post mostly. Shout out PMT.
Shout out PMT.
But his mom announced it. Karen. Shit. I'm drawing a blank on her last name. Sorry. But his mom announced it on Instagram that they were doing this. And when it was originally released in 2011, he had this thing called the Road to 1 Million Followers. And he had 300,000 followers on Twitter. and every 100,000 he'd release another song, and then when it hit 1 million, he put the whole mixtape out, which just is crazy because it shows how fast he blew up.
That was like right in the time. Remember, like when Blue Slide Park came out, like that was like not peak, but like that was when he was clearly like on the upswing. I feel like everyone was talking about Mac Miller at that point,
Yeah,
at least at Mama.
I think it's Karen Myers, by the way, popped back into my head. But yeah, just to like casually be like, oh, I'll release an album if I can get 700,000 more followers and just like pull it off, no
And then get
problem.
him.
Yeah. And this is a great Mac mixtape. Like I never listened to this one a ton because it just wasn't really accessible, and like I always kind of got drawn to like the darker side of his music, but this is like that just young, having fun, happy Mac, just talking about like girls and partying, and just like it's very chill, but like the bars are still there. He's got awesome samples. Um there's a sample of this song, San Francisco Nights by People Under the Stairs. They're a San Francisco rap duo, and the beats like do 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 do, like it's just really really catchy. Like it's so familiar that even if you don't know it, you'd hear it and be like, oh, I think I know that somehow. But he crushed it on that track. And there was a sample at the beginning that got cut. It was an interview with John Lennon that started off the first track of the album. Smack was like a huge Beatles guy, and
And they cut that from streaming.
yeah, it didn't make it. I guess I don't know why. You'd think like an interview. Why would there be like rights to an interview? But I don't know. But yeah, they've been like, because back to them releasing his stuff. Like he passed after Swimming, and Circles was pretty much written. Like that album was more or less done. So it still felt like a genuine release, how he wanted it for the most part. And then they went back and they started releasing his mixtapes. So like Faces came out,
Still have to listen to that one
Kids
too.
came out. Oh man.
You said it's like vibey, right? Faces.
To me, like, and a lot of people, like that's his like masterpiece. Oh man, you gotta like really listen to it. So if you're in Phish mode, maybe we wait a little. But like that's I'm almost jealous that you get to hear that album for the first time. That shit
So
is
that one gets headphone treatment right away.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Headphone or car treatment. Definitely not like laptop speaker treatment.
Good to know. I'm glad I haven't listened
Yeah,
yet then, because it would have been laptop treatment at my previous job.
yeah. Oh man, you're in for a treat with that album. It's so good. But I was reading that they're not they confirmed. I read a comment that said it was confirmed. So I didn't read whatever statement said this was confirmed, but they're apparently planning on still releasing unreleased stuff. Like that song I showed you that we were talking about earlier.
That I've been dying for. What's that one
Yeah.
called again?
Uh give me a sec. It'll come to me. But I'll just
I
keep
know like how
talking.
it sounds. I just can't remember the name.
One and Only.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. So his plan was he's going to release Swimming, which was like kind of a mix of rapping and like R&B. Like it wasn't just a rap album, and it wasn't just like a slow rock album. Then he put out Circles, which was like all acoustic guitar and like piano for the most part. I mean, there are beats on it too, but like it was a much more chiller album. And then the last one was going to be Swimming, Circles, and I can't think of what the name was supposed to be, but that was just going to be him just straight up like rapping, like bars on bars on bars. And that's where that song One and Only came from. And Buttons, Programs, which are both on Spotify as single tracks, like Buttons and Programs. If you want like a song like One and Only, look those up because those go super hard. Programs is awesome. I've been trying to learn the words to that just because I want to be able to rap along, but there's so many lyrics. That's crazy. But
I
yeah,
hope they put out that album. Like, did he finish it or it's unfinished?
um I it's unfinished from what I've heard, but it's like finished enough that I think they might still do something with it. I want to know what it was supposed to be called. So, second circles, the third one, oh, there wasn't a name. Yeah, it's just the third one was just supposed to be like pure hip hop. So still hold out hope for that. But yeah,
Are there any mixtapes that are still missing from streaming?
There's one called Delusional Thomas, which is like him rapping as like this alter ego, like psycho killer dude. And the whole album, like his voice is pitched like way up. So some people like don't love how the voice is, but like it's just part of the project. He puts out so much music, like I still think it's cool. Um then there's one he did like a jazz record called Larry under the name Larry Lovestein, um, which is like nothing like his other music, but that's I guess you consider like a mixtape. And there's one called Balloonerism, which is just a bunch of unreleased tracks that I have sitting on a hard drive. I don't know what the album's actually supposed to be, but it was called Balloonerism. I'm sure there's more. Apparently, there's like 18 tracks with Lil Wayne just like sitting on a hard drive somewhere.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like the dude has thousands of songs that have never seen the light of day. So we just have to see and hope that his family and estate is cool with still releasing them to us, and just wait patiently. But you get to listen to Faces, which is so cool.
I'm excited for that one now.
Yeah. Oh man. You got to tell me when you're going to put it on. I want to know when it's going down.
It's like I'm gonna do that on Friday. Like Friday's a good day to do that.
Yes. All right. Let me know. I know you like to repeat songs, but I'd almost tell you to just like play it through.
I do
It's
repeat songs.
it's a hefty mix. Like it's long. It's like an hour plus. I feel personally like somewhere around track like these are all pretty good though. Yeah, I don't know. I take it back. It's 25 tracks, but like to me, the beef of the album is like up to like 17. And then there's a few in there that don't feel like the same exact flow as the rest of it. And then it goes back. Like grand finale at the end is incredible.
There's some
Apparition,
great features
colors,
on here too.
colors and shapes. Dude, colors and shapes. So like, man, I don't even want to say anything. Just it's such a good mixtape.
But to have like Schoolboy Q, Rick Ross, Finn Staples, Mike Jones, Earl
Yeah.
Sweatshirt.
Yeah, I
Oh, this is gonna be a good one.
have it right here. Okay. Ordered this from his website as soon as they announced it. I got the tricolor vinyl. So it's like
Is that 4 records in there or 3?
3, but this one's red, one's green, and one's blue.
That's pretty awesome.
Wish you lived closer, Brett. We could just like put it on.
Go to the record store. Or
Yeah.
put it on too.
Yeah, that I went to the record
I'd have
store.
a record store, buddy.
I went this weekend. I've been good because like just been like spending money on stupid shit. So I'm like, if I don't go to the record store, I can't buy records. But I found The Black Parade is Dead on vinyl, which is just like live from Mexico. Like, all right.
You gotta get that one.
I gotta get that. I get that for the collection. Only $20. Not too bad. Yeah, it's growing slowly. We got Ghost.
That's gonna be this week's Phish album.
Nice. I feel I've never told you the story of the ghost that I once knew, talked to, whom I'd never boast.
Then I have to go back and do Hoist at some point too, because I only got halfway through that one. It was awesome though, but then I got hooked on Tweezer.
You just got stuck in the freezer, never came out.
Yep, I'm still in there.
Oh man. Oh, just come Friday. You don't work Friday night.
By the time I get down there though.
Fine. Just quit your brand new job. Go on the road.
But we do have a day to remember that weekend.
Yes, I didn't start remembering a day to remember.
I did not either.
Oh, we do
I
have
was
to talk
still in-
about the single though.
We do.
I forgot about it. I should have listened to it a few more times today. What were your first impressions?
So I was talking to our friend of the pod, Matt Maceos, about it. I texted our little pop punk group. We all were pretty much in agreement that it was better than anything on You're Welcome, like far and
Yeah.
away above anything on that album.
That's where better than You're Welcome, but I still don't like the direction they're trending in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I was just so happy it didn't sound like You're Welcome that I was like, okay, maybe the next album is like kind of a return to form.
Yeah.
Such as like they're trying to figure out who their bass player is going to be.
True.
But
here's
I
the
don't
thing.
know. I feel like I liked it after a couple listens. That, like you said, I probably should have listened a couple more times.
Yeah.
But it's been a Phish week.
Because I'm in a few group chats like that too, and my friends were psyched about it, and I didn't want to be the one to be like, no, I don't like it. But because we're here, and because this is a safe space of honesty when we talk music, to me this sounds like any other band you'd hear on Octane. It's generic and
it is a very
bland.
Octane song.
It's good, but it's not like good A Day to Remember. Just sounds like a formula to me still, which was my biggest problem with You're Welcome. I don't know what's missing. I really don't, but yeah, there it is. I had to get that out off my chest.
I think that's
I'm
fair.
sorry.
I think I was just so relieved it didn't sound, because I've never been as disappointed for an album as I was with that one. Because like before
Maybe
that they had
Danger
never
Days.
missed. Well, yeah. Probably on the same level.
Yeah. Kind of similar in terms of weird poppy songs.
And then same thing, like they hadn't missed until that point either.
Yeah.
So it was like having like your heart ripped out from that, and then hearing this, it's like, oh, maybe they're kind of walking back the right way, but at the same time, it's not like what Bad Vibrations was.
Yeah, the song was still enjoyable, and I thought it was heavy and cool, but bland.
I did enjoy the breakdown though.
Yes, as is expected.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get into them more coming up.
And we'll hear that live in a couple of weeks too.
Yeah.
So I have a whole new take on it by then, I'm sure.
Yeah, I did put on Common Courtesy for like 2 songs the other day because I wanted to start remembering A Day to Remember. And then my phone disconnected from Bluetooth in my car, Phish radio popped on, and I just stayed there.
Sounds like we had a similar week.
Oh man, it's brutal.
Because I went all the way back to And Their Name Was Treason. So I'm like starting at the beginning.
Yeah, that's
working my way up.
That's what I planned to do. But then I was like, you know what? I just want to put on the album I really like the most. I think that's probably my favorite album by them.
Common Courtesy?
Yeah. What Separates Me From You is really good too.
I think Homesick will always be my top one for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
And for those who have a heart too, is up there.
Yeah. Yeah, they really didn't miss.
They're all good until
You're Welcome.
You're Welcome.
What happened? They changed labels. They did a song with whatever his name is.
Marshmello.
Yeah.
That
song was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a really cool song. But that was the beginning.
Get what they were trying to do, but they missed.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll see if this is leading to a new album or not. But
yeah, I would think, but I guess who knows?
Because they sat on You're Welcome for like 2 years. So I feel like they had to have been working on other new stuff in the meantime.
True. Did you get to listen to the Beach Bunny album that you told me to listen to?
I did.
Nice.
I very much enjoyed that one too. That's like, it just reminded me of like all the 90s artists that come on like Sirius too. They kind of just throw them all in a blender.
I love,
and
like,
it's what she sounds like,
or
the band sounds like.
I love the stripped down guitars like so much. Like they're just a little crunchy, but not too much
Not too in your
like
face.
distortion like on like heavy pop punk. Like they gave me huge the front bottoms vibes instrumentally.
Yes, that's a good
Like
way to look at it.
their riffs towards the end of their songs, it's just like with the stripped down guitars and then just like a really cool like riff for a few bars that repeats. Just was really giving me front bottoms vibes. I liked it a whole lot.
And I love Lily Trufolio's voice. I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name, but her voice is just what hooked me in from that first album. And it's
Yeah.
just her like songwriting and the way she sings every line. It's just few artists around deliver like that nowadays, I feel like. But she kind of, that's why they blew up after that first album. And I
Honeymoon.
feel like they followed it up. Yep.
Yeah, they followed up great. I listened to both because you told me to, and Emotional Creature wasn't out yet because it was like just say Thursday. So put that on and then listen to that one the next day. I love the song Scream. There's a part where she's like, it just makes me wanna, but then instead of saying scream, she just yells.
It's in the background, like
Yeah,
throughout the song too, like
yeah.
subtly. Well, not subtly, but it's there.
Yeah, yeah. And then what was it? It's called,
Entropy was awesome.
did I write that one down? I didn't write
The
that one
first
down.
song,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then is it Weeds? Or I think Weeds?
Weeds is a great song.
Weeds. It kind of reminded me of like uh Fireflies, like that Owl City song with like I don't know if just because I've been listening to Mac and he sampled it. It's like,
I
do you know
gotta
the
go
song I'm
listen to that
talking
one.
about?
I haven't heard that song in a
Like
really long time.
that I believe that planet Earth moves slowly. Whatever that one. I don't know why. I don't know if it was the vocal cadence or what. Should have wrote down what reminded me of it, but
Oh,
what are you
Mac
gonna
Miller
do?
sampled that one too. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah, he sampled that on Kids. That was called "Don't Mind If I Do." Let's go on.
Add that
It's
to my Mac list too,
yeah. No, just listen to Faces.
and nothing else.
Well, we'll go from
And
there.
Phish.
We'll go from there. I could take you down a whole Mac rabbit hole because he has a whole like dark psychedelic side to his music, like Faces and watching movies with the sound off. Those two
I
albums are
watching movies with the sound off was a big one for me. That and Blue
yeah.
Side Park.
Oh man, the Star Room. Like what a way to open an album. No chorus, no nothing. He just goes in for 4.5 minutes. And that features his alter ego, Delusional Thomas, when the voice goes up in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down a Mac rabbit hole soon too.
Yeah. Yeah. What else did I want to talk about this week? I watched the Machine Gun Kelly documentary on
Oh,
Hulu.
that's not what I thought you were gonna say. I
I was
thought you were gonna
working.
say Stranger Things.
We have the last episode.
So we can talk about it next week. Finally,
We're almost done. Yes, 100% next
okay.
week. I watched. It was called Life in Pink.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. I went into it telling myself like this is gonna be the purpose of this is to make you like Machine Gun Kelly. It's done by him. It's done by his team, whatever. So like, gotta go in with that attitude. And I don't think I've ever disliked him as a person. I don't really know him as a person. I just didn't like his latest album, but like he really takes the criticism harshly. Like the whole thing opens with just tweets, videos, clips of all these different outlets and people, personalities, radio hosts, whatever, just hating on him, and then others loving him. His daughter's in it a lot. Didn't know he had a daughter.
Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox, Reagan from New Girl. Shout out. She's way more famous than that show, but love that show. I thought one thing was cool when Tickets to My Downfall. So During quarantine, he just started playing guitar more because he had nothing to do, and I think he stopped doing drugs. So, well, hard drugs. He had a blunt in his mouth in every single scene and interview of this entire documentary. I'm not
That
even
sounds
kidding.
about right, though.
Yeah. And he sounded pretty coherent too. Like if I was that high all the time, I wouldn't be able to like be on a camera. It would be horrible. Um, but I thought it was cool. Like he was basically just bored and was like, I'm gonna just pick up guitar again. It'll keep me busy. And he started posting his covers online, and they all were getting like a million views each. And then he started getting all this attention from guitar. So he met Travis Barker at a Blink show. Although, if this was during quarantine, how does that add up?
Did they just go to their studio?
I don't know. I guess they had met at a Blink show in the past, and then
And he
they
hit him
hooked up later to like make music. But they work on this album. Like they did Bloody Valentine like first, and they were just like, that was really fun. This is awesome. Like, let's just do a whole album of this. It's so much fun. So they do it. And the label he was on before Tickets to My Downfall, when he put out the rap album, I forget what it was, but basically they went to Interscope with Tickets to My Downfall, like played it for a whole room. And he's like, some of the people got it, some of them were scratching their head, and they had live video of it. At one point during a song, he like gets up on the table and starts like air guitaring and like just stomping around. Like, all right, I guess he's like passionate about his music.
He's selling it.
Yeah. And it worked, but they touched on everything. Like they did a surprise show at Venice Beach Boardwalk on a rooftop that he just like tweeted out or something. He's like, we're not doing this, and then like winked aggressively. And then like eventually I think the cops shut it down. But Travis was with him. Like I thought that was a pretty cool move. They touched on the Conor McGregor thing, they touched on Corey Taylor. Um, the Corey Taylor thing was wild. He had a verse on Tickets to My Downfall, and Machine Gun Kelly had said something like, according to him anyway, he had said something like, this is good, but like I was kind of thinking a little more in this direction or something. And Corey Taylor like took it wildly personal and lost it, and then started calling him out. He's like, I'm not going to say two, but these people who switch genres and think they could just blah, blah, blah. So then Machine Gun Kelly clapped back with like, at least I'm not up here wearing a fucking mask when I'm like 50. And that set all the Slipknot fans against him. And
You can't say that.
no, you can't. But there was more to it than I had realized, because I had only heard like, and again, this is probably what this documentary wants me to think. So who the hell knows? But I didn't realize there was more to it than him just calling out Slipknot out of the blue for no reason. But probably still shouldn't go after a band that big.
No. I still haven't listened to their single either.
No, I haven't yet. If there's an album, I'll wait with you.
September 30th.
Oh, we can wait. That's 2 months.
23rd, 30th. One of those days.
Yeah, that's easy. But yeah, it was hour and a half on Hulu. I just had it on while like working remote. It was entertaining. Like definitely tried very hard to get the viewers to like him. I'll give him credit. Like he works really hard, almost to a fault, which is what they were trying to portray. Because then they had like a lot of interviews with his daughter, and she's like, he works so much, like I don't even see him. Like it's ridiculous. It's like he replaced the drugs with like just wanting to have a #1 album. So then at the end, he's like, going forward, my daughter's my next #1 album. And it's like, all right, bro, chill.
So
This is way too corny. But I mean,
he set
good.
himself up for that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I'm not gonna like rag on a guy for wanting to love his daughter, but like, come on, be a little more subtle with this whole
Yeah.
thing. But
A little on the nose.
yeah, it was interesting hearing about like his life and stuff. And because I mean, love him or hate him, he's wildly famous, and it can't be easy. Damn, this got me. As I'm saying, like, oh shit, the documentary did exactly what it was supposed to. But yeah, I don't know. His last album still stunk.
It was not good. It was still probably our worst album of the year so far.
Yeah. Whatever. Worth throwing on if you're just bored in the background.
It wasn't maybe not the worst album ever made, but
I did either of us say ever made?
No.
That's a really big in all time. No way. There was this album made in like the 1600s by this dude with a fiddle and a garbage can. It was trash.
And a horse.
Horse was my favorite part. The neighing really tied it together. Oh no. We've reached that point of the show. Yeah. I think that's everything we had in mind for this week. Did you have any other news? Just want to talk about how much awesome Phish is.
I did see Green Day was teasing something, but supposedly I think it's for their Lollapalooza dates coming up. But they tweeted out the American Idiot fist grenade with the circle around it, so people are speculating maybe it means an American Idiot tour in the near future. But I'm pretty sure that turns 20 in 2024. So I'm not sure why they'd announce that tour now or start touring it now.
Gives us time to save money for tickets.
Because I mean, I'm probably gonna go to that one, but
just start putting $100 aside every other week until
Yep.
2024, and maybe you can get nosebleeds at MetLife.
maybe I can afford parking and then sit in the parking lot and hear it.
That'd be cool though. See what prices are. That was my first concert ever, was American Idiot, so I don't know how much I'd be dying to spend a ton to see the reunion tour, but
20 years later,
yeah,
they do always put on a good show though, so I will give Green Day credit there.
Yeah, and they would be playing our most favorite songs, give or take, so like, all right, I won't rule it out. Won't rule it out.
I think you and I are like the only ones to defend like Revolutionary Radio, because everyone's like, "Oh, Green Day haven't put out a good album since American Idiot," and I was like, I like 2016.
Rev Radio that album was good. Still breathing or still standing. We can't even get the name of the album or the song.
It's still breathing. You're right. The first time.
I remember it because they played it during like MLB playoffs constantly.
That's when we saw them in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn? I thought, didn't we see them at Prudential?
Thought it was where the Nets play.
Oh,
Barclays Center.
Yeah. The Bark Center. Good old BC. Yeah. And I paid like way too much money for 3 shots of Fireball.
That was like $90.
I instantly regretted it. But like you and Palazzi like hadn't really met each other. So I'm like, let's do a round of shots, just like get everyone like camaraderie. She's like, $75. I'm like, no, thanks.
You told us that. I'm like, so are there like 3 more coming?
That's why I'm excited for Phish and AC, because they don't. You could walk in with a whole bottle of tequila if you want through those gates. There is no, not on the AC beach, at least not last year. So
I think I got to do a December show and then see them on their summer tour next summer.
Yeah, that's all right. December's a fun time. It's easy. Take the train in.
Blank check.
Usually where I like to sit, although we can see, I mean, we'll each put in for lottery and see what we get. If you get really good seats, we'll take them. If we don't want to use the seats, you'll have no problem selling them, and then we'll go from there, because the floor is cool, but I think seats in the 100s are just too good to pass up. Like where we sat for Tool is what I like to do for Phish.
Those are great seats.
Yeah. Like halfway up in the 100s, right on like the corner facing the stage. You get to see the light show. The sound's awesome. Have your own spot.
I need Tweezer that night. I need the stars to align and we get it. I need it.
You're already chasing songs. We shall see. We shall see.
I know not to get my hopes up though, because this tour, it's been different every night. So I just got to learn more songs.
Tweezer is definitely one you have a higher chance of hearing. It's in the regular rotation. So they played one last night. I forget which one, but it had been 64 shows since they last played that particular song.
That's a long time.
So yeah, you really, if you're chasing like a random one, like I also wanted to tell you, I'll just tell you this real quick and then we can wrap up. You have to go down the Gamehenge rabbit hole of Phish. Gamehenge
is that where Wilson came from?
Yes, that is where Wilson came from. That was Trey's like college term paper. He basically wrote a rock opera, and it's made up of a ton of songs. And there's a few shows in history where they've played through all of Gamehenge. So you'd have to look up one of those. I'll send you the site. I think there's one called relisten.com, I want to say. But there's a bunch of sites with like Phish archives, and you can just listen to any show from any date ever. So you got to find a Gamehenge set and just give it a whirl. That's where the Lizards come from. Fly, Famous Mockingbird, Wilson.
I was gonna say, is this on stream? It's not streaming though, right?
No, it's just a random assortment of songs, but you have to find the show where he plays them all in the correct order. So just search like Gamehenge set, and I don't know. You would do some research, but it's out there. The Man Who Stepped Into Yesterday. Oh man, there's so many cool songs, and it's all like a huge story. So I think you'll like it.
I searched that one out.
Yeah.
My new find last week was Bathtub Gin, so I figure I gotta listen to Lawn Boy at some point too.
Yeah, that's a great song.
And Split Open and Melts on here too. It looks like.
Ooh. Oh, Reba. Have you heard Reba yet?
No.
Bag it, tag it, sell to the butcher in the store. Oh man.
Run Like an Antelope. It's a song too.
Yeah. Run, 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 run.
Oh, and Bouncing Around the Room came from there too. Okay. I probably like this one too.
Yeah.
But this week is Ghost.
Okay. Yeah. That's one step at a time.
Because Birds of a Feather, I'm like, I need to listen to the song over and over and over after hearing that live version.
And Meat is really funky.
Meat's a good one too.
Boom, 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 boom. Oh man, love it.
Really good bass. I feel like it's underrated at times. Gets hidden a little bit in there.
Mike Gordo, the Cactus.
5-string bass.
Yeah, he plays with a pick.
Heek.
Love you.
Inside jokes on a show. Well, I did explain that one early on.
It's everyone's joke now. Yeah. All right. Should we say goodbye to the people?
Think so. No guests tonight, so just
a good old
Phish rabbit hole again.
No, we got to a lot. We got to complain about Ticketmaster, talk Phish. We didn't talk about, we kind of talked about Blink. Travis Barker came up. Got to keep the Blink streak
for the bingo board. Yeah.
All right. As always, thank you everyone for listening. Follow us on social media
and YouTube.
Yeah, the episode was late this week. My bad, but it's up now.
Great clips, though.
Give it a thumbs up. Yeah. All right. We'll talk to everyone soon.
Until next week.